Hi, pal, and welcome to season 2 of I've Got Your Back, the podcast. I am so excited that this season is going to be about entrepreneurship. So, if you are an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur and you're curious about how to be one, what it means, how do you embody the mindset, or how do you create ways to become an entrepreneur, and any lessons there are in being an entrepreneur, then this season is for you. Speak to you soon. Hi, pal, and welcome to episode 2 of season 2 of I've Got Your Back, the podcast, which is all about entrepreneurship. Today, I wanted to share with you my lessons. So in episode 1, I shared a couple of lessons in episode 1, but I shared quite a lot of my journey in moving from sort of full-time employee to full-time social entrepreneur today. So it's really tricky to sort of just share a few lessons in all those years because there's been so many lessons. But today I'm going to share 8 with you. You know, 8 is my magic number. So 8 impact and income streams is always the goal as a social entrepreneur for me anyway, and what I highly recommend. And I just wanted to share 8 that I really believe are super good lessons. So my number 1 is always, always, always dream big. And that sounds a bit cliche because you hear that or you see it on a little meme or, see it on Instagram, like dream big, follow your dreams. But genuinely and honestly, when I look back on these years, the one thing that has been a common thread, or there's been a lot of things as a common thread, but that has been like always number 1 from a really young age. I've always had this ability to develop the mindset to dream big and the thoughts to dream big. So I would encourage that. And I would also encourage no one or nothing to get into your mindset around the dreams that you have. So there could be multiple dreams. It could be a dream for a short period of time. It could be a long period of time. It could be small. It could be medium size. It could be massive. But I do encourage larger dreams because when you have bigger dreams, the growth of you as an individual towards that dream or that massive goal is actually gold. The person that you will become as you work towards that is like incredible. Like it'll be tough at parts, don't get me wrong. You'll be like crying and all sorts, but there'll be moments where you'll be like, wow, like this is worth it. Like this was so worth it. And it just, the growth is just bigger and deeper when your dreams are bigger. And I would also just add to that, please, 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 like let go of the fear of what other people think of your dreams and their opinion on your dreams, because they're not their dreams, they're yours. And every single one of us is a completely unique being. There is no one like you on this earth. You are the only person like you on this earth. You come from a certain place, certain beliefs, certain values, certain experiences, certain challenges, certain issues, certain family members, friends. They're all unique and they make up you. So of course your dreams are going to be so unique because none of us are the same. So actually we should all have the most unique dreams. Yes, some of them might be similar in terms of certain things, but they have to be yours. And you have to let go of what other people think of them, because as they come into your dreams, and if you let them, they're going to interfere with the creation of them. So yeah, and I would just say, have the courage to talk your dreams out loud. And what I mean by that is I've always had the ability to actually say my dreams out loud and not care what other people think. Maybe a little bit in the beginning, but now not at all. But when I was younger, I definitely still had that ability to say it out loud and speak it into existence. So the more that you say your dreams and goals out loud to whoever will listen on social media or to your partner or to your friends, your family, those that you trust as well, it actually does speak them into your existence. And what happens is, and just so you know, there's the science behind this, but right at the back of your brain, there's something called the reticular activator. And what this does is when you have a goal or you have a dream or you have something in your mind that you want, that you're working towards, that part of the brain will just attract in the people, the resources, the opportunities that obtain that dream. And that's why it's so important. So one, speak it in the positive tense. So for me, my first ever dream was to live and work in Sydney, Australia. I am living and working in Sydney, Australia. So you say it as if it's already done. You say it in the positive tense and it's sort of done. So it's almost like it's already done in your mind. What's happening is that little reticular activator is just bringing in the real life situations, people and resources to make it happen. But it does start there. It starts with placing it in there, whether you need to see it in a vision board, whether you need to write it down every day, whether you need to speak it every day. It just gives those words and that dream more power. So from age 15 years old to when did I move to Australia? So 22, 23. So I had on my vision board beaches of Australia. That's all I had because that was the only thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to live and work in Sydney, Australia. So I said that every day. I saw the pictures every day. Did it happen overnight? Absolutely not. It took me like almost a decade to make that happen. But I enjoyed everything in between, and all the pieces of the puzzle were just coming together to make that dream a reality. And again, if the dreams are really big, then obviously sometimes they can take time, and it's being patient with that, having this balance between sort of urgency and patience, and like walking right down the middle, making sure that you know where you're going, you know where you're headed, but you're willing to take the journey in between and be patient with that. But, still work with that sort of walk with that intention, you're still walking through towards that dream with your intention. And honestly, I've had so many dreams. Like that was my major dream. And then the next one was to, like, as I said on the last episode, leave my job before I turned 30. So like leave the corporate world. I did that when I was 29. To spend half the year in Australia, half the year in the UK, that became a dream. So that happened. Like there's lots of things. Now my dream is absolutely like, I just want the most amazing soul partner to live on a farm and to live and just breathe like nature and to grow our own vegetables and flowers and fruits and like have puppies and babies. That's pretty much it. That's the dream that I want now. So, again, that's probably been there for a while, but it's just sort of like having the patience and the intention that's what you want, and knowing that it will happen and it's going to unfold exactly when it's meant to. Okay. So number one is dream big and speak it into existence. Number two is all about the mind. And I'm going to talk about this a lot. I'm going to share lots of stories about the power of the mind, but essentially you have to develop a positive mindset. And that doesn't mean to say that you're positive and happy all the time. You don't feel any other emotion. Absolutely. I have felt so many emotions over the years, still do, still have major challenges, major issues that come up in my life, in my businesses. However, what I've trained my mind to do is think positively about, okay, well, this has come in for a reason. What is the issue, the challenge, the problem that's here? And how am I going to come up with a solution that's going to fix this? Like always. And normally I come up with 3. It's not even just one. I've actually trained myself to think, okay, this has come up. What are the 3 solutions, 1 to 3 solutions for this? But that takes time. It takes time to develop a positive mind. And I'd say, how do you do that? One, you have to invest in yourself. This has been the number one thing that I've done since 15 years old is I've always backed myself and I've always invested in myself with time, with courses, with money. Like, I don't even know how much money I've spent on developing myself and going to courses and learning from people that have paved the way for me and, that I aspire to be like, or I'm inspired by. I've seen Tony Robbins. I've seen Mel Robbins. They're not related, by the way. I've seen like some of the most incredible, I've lost count of the amount of people that I've invested to spend time with and to learn from. And so please invest in yourself and your mind, because it is the most powerful thing that you will ever do. Because when you learn how to manage your mind to create positive thoughts, you're literally unstoppable, because positive thoughts leads to positive actions, leads to positive outcomes, leads to positive goals. Like there's a whole array of things that happen when you have a positive thought. And so invest in yourself. If there's someone that you have been looking at, a course you've been looking at, or a book you want to read, there's so much that an audible you want to listen to, or surround yourself with the minds of people that you are inspired by or are inspired to be. Not to be them, but just you feel as if when you're around them or listening to them, you're feeling better. Like if they make you feel good, if your nervous system is like, yeah, you know what it's like when you spend time with someone and you come away and you're sort of high, or if you come away and you're feeling kind of low, like that's a good indicator. So like check in with yourself, like surround yourself with positive people, and like invest in yourself and actually fall in love with learning and growth. I think one of the things I've learned and through my own experiences going through school is I believed that learning English and maths and all those things that I really struggled with was learning and growth. And I actually fell out of love with that learning and growth, because it wasn't learning and growth to me, you know, it was academia. And that wasn't the way that I felt that I wanted to learn, or I didn't enjoy it, you know. As soon as I learned about self-development and how to improve the mind and how to know myself and how to interact with other people and how to attract lots of things into my life, that's when the game changed for me. And that's when I really fell in love with learning and growth. And so I would encourage you to really invest in your learning and growth. So the things that you genuinely love, not the thing that the boss is telling you to do in your job, or the thing that you think you need to do because everyone on Instagram is doing it. Like, what is your development? And I always have a budget towards this each year, is like, what am I going to invest in to basically improve my mind? So number 2, embody a positive mindset and invest in yourself and invest in this mind that you've been given. Number 3 is all about your body, your health and well-being, and your wellness and your fitness, like everything to do with this body that you've been gifted, and how you respect it, how you love it, and how you take care of it on a daily basis. And I'll be honest, like I sort of learned the mindset thing quite early on in my sort of entrepreneurial journey, but the wellness part and the body was later on for me. I didn't realize that the body had such a big connection with the mind. So actually your gut is like your second brain, and your brain is connected to your gut. So what you're feeding your gut is going to impact your brain. So, you know, sometimes if you have a coffee, if you have too much sugar, or if you have, like for me, dairy was a thing that I had an intolerance with, it would actually react in my body and it wouldn't be good. And then it would affect my mind. So it's knowing that connection now. My number one thing every single day is to look after my body and my mind. Always. And so in terms of body, I would encourage you to go on a journey with discovering what fuels your body and what makes you feel good, from food, from nutrition, from fitness. Like, what is it you actually enjoy? Like, again, don't go running if you don't like running. Although I must say, I fell in love with running 4 years ago. And I call myself never a runner, but you know, again, open to learning and growth, I decided to take it on. But yeah, but go for the things that you love. Like, what do you actually enjoy? Because the one major thing that I've realized, like, people often say to me, like, you're so cool, you're so calm, you're so collected, especially when there's challenges and like everyone thinks everything's a riot. I'm like, okay, let's talk about this. Let's come up with the solutions. Let's do this. And I think the major part of that attitude and that being and the way that I am is because I look after my body and my mind. Well, I've spoken about mind, but the body, I fuel myself with the right nutrition, with the right food every single day. And I treat this body like a temple, because it's a gift. Like, even it's just a miracle, like how this body functions every single day. So knowing that, why would you not fuel it with the right stuff? So encourage you to go on a journey of finding what fuels your body, what gives you energy, because everything is energy. And when you're fueling your body with the right food, you have more energy to give. So when people say, how do you run that business and that business and that business? And how can you hold multiple things in your mind and have this capacity? Is because I look after this vessel. And when you look after this vessel, it fuels you to have the energy, to have difficult conversations, to celebrate people, to be with large groups, to be with small groups, to talk openly about things, to work through challenges, like whatever it is. Like, I know for a fact, just because I'm feeling my body every single day. And so I have the ability to deal with a lot. And that is really common in entrepreneurship. If you think about it, if you're running your own business, if you're doing multiple things, I see this a lot where their entrepreneurs are burnt out. They're not getting enough sleep. They're not getting the right nutrition. They're not fueling themselves with the right food. They're eating crap. They're having multiple coffees per day. Like, and it's just, it literally will lead to burnout. And so as an entrepreneur, I really know for a fact, because I was that person, I know for a fact that you're not feeling good, and you will never produce the kind of company or impact you want to if you're not having a positive impact on your body first, if you're not actually doing the well-being practices yourself. And so I really encourage that, especially as entrepreneurs, because we're pushed and pulled in so many different ways and have multiple hats on at multiple different times. You have to look after your body. So that's number 3. Number 4 is always remember where you come from. I'll never forget when I was leaving Paisley for the first time. So I was embarking on my first job with HP, and my uncle was saying goodbye to me. And he said to me, Michelle, in a very Scottish accent, he said, never forget where you came from. And obviously he was meaning never forget your roots, never forget your values, never forget you've come from here, and whatever you choose to do, remember that this is home, and remember that this is where you came from. And I think that's so powerful as an individual, but it's important as a business owner or an entrepreneur. Like, think about where you started and where you are now, even though you might be frustrated that you're not quite where you want to be. I bet if you were to look back and remember where you started and where you came from, you would be so happy at where you are now. Or you would be, or maybe not happy is the right word, but maybe you'd have a lot more gratitude to where you are. And again, another great practice is gratitude. But I really encourage that, is to always remember where you've come from, because it helps you in sort of being at peace with where you are now and then working towards whatever that future. Number 5, love your own journey and own your own journey. So what do I mean by this? Your journey is literally going to be a series of peaks and troughs and ups and downs and celebration and complete failure and challenge, worthiness and unworthiness, lots of money and no money. Like, literally all of the extremes in entrepreneurship you'll go through. And what I encourage you to do is love your journey, because honestly, the lessons that you'll have, and with the benefit of hindsight, you will look back and realize how powerful they were. The deepest lows, the highest highs. And own your own journey. Like, so many people, and I've done this before, is you compare your day one in a company to someone's day 15,000 in a company or a journey, whatever it is. I'm basically saying we have this thing in society where we compare ourselves to others, and they're on a completely different path at a different time, doing completely different things, but yet we find this comparison come in. And comparison is the thief of joy, because when you start to compare, you start to forget who you are. You start to not fall in love with your own journey. So love your own journey and take responsibility for your own journey. I think this is this accountability and again, this mindset of not being a victim to your own circumstance or blaming others, because ultimately you have made decisions right now to be in this position you are in. So it's loving that as well, and taking that personal responsibility with a lot of kindness and gentleness towards yourself. Like, don't beat yourself up. It's because I see that a lot as well. It's just about being kind to yourself and knowing that you are exactly where you are because of the decisions that you've made. And this is your journey, and you will continue on your journey. And your path is unique. No path is the same. Yes, there might be similarities between people, but no path is the same. And just continuously come back to love and gratitude for where you are, your journey, and what's happened, what's now, and what's coming. And I would always say be in the now, actually. Really actively be in that moment of now with your journey. Number 6 is let it go and let it come. Biggest lesson is let things go. Honestly, don't sweat the small stuff. Let people go, let situations go, let failures go, like let it all go. Like, because if you hold on to that, you're literally holding something that you thought it could be better, or you thought that you could have done better. Like, you're holding on to all of that sort of energy and that sort of wishing that something was different, or holding on to something that actually doesn't serve you. So when you let people go and things go, you allow more love to come in. You allow more opportunity to come in. And sometimes I think, especially with people, and I've experienced this a lot through the years, you think, somebody's going to be in your business for like the rest of your life. You're going to grow old together. And yeah, there'll definitely be some people like that. Or you thought that customer was going to be with you, or that client was going to be with you, or, whatever it is, you have to sometimes just love and let people go. One, because you two are not meant to be together. It's just like any relationship, whether it's really personal or business, you've got to love them and let them go, because you've either outgrown each other, or you're not on the same page, or they're not going to be with you in the future. And that is absolutely okay. And it happens all the time. So let it go and let it come. Because when you let things go and you let people go with love, with grace, other things come in. And that is absolutely the way of entrepreneurship. It's always, always, always going to happen. And that's cool. Number 7, I think we're on now. Yet be just pleasantly persistent every single day. Keep working and chipping away every single day. I don't know if any of you have ever seen that image where it's someone, they're sort of chipping away with a chisel at this ice. It's sort of like an iceberg type thing. And it like just, there's this little space and they're chipping away. And then we can see it looking at the image, but there's sort of like this little treasure chest, like really close to where they're chiseling to, but they literally walk away when they're super, super close to sort of give up as they're actually chipping away, because it's so hard. You're just like chipping and chipping away for months, years, and you're so close to that treasure. I would just say, just focus on the daily habits, the daily actions that you are taking towards those dreams, towards those goals every single day, and just keep taking the action. Keep chipping away, because honestly, the treasure chests do appear, whether that like doesn't mean it could be money, it could be people, it could be whatever it's going to be. Those celebratory moments, just keep chipping away. Like, don't give up. Be pleasantly persistent and resilient every single day. Like, to learn that and just allow things to like wash over you. Like, the ability to allow things, just again, going back to what I said before, like let it go. Like, once you do that and you just keep chipping away, it becomes a really powerful, such a powerful thing. And one of my major lessons is just to keep going. Like, somebody asked me once, like, how do I fail at this business? And I say, just by giving up. That's it. So just never give up. Never, ever, ever give up. Just keep in that pursuit. I've just been watching recently documentaries, I've never seen them before, about Conor McGregor, the UFC fighter. And honestly, like, the mindset of that man is insane. And I've really enjoyed the documentary because it's given me a greater insight into his mind. And I love stuff like that. You might not agree with UFC or, the way he is and the materialistic stuff that he has and is very boldly shown. But honestly, the one thing you can't take away from that man is his work ethic and his mindset and the ability to keep persisting, keep showing resilience, and keep showing up every day to training. Like, he is obsessed with training every single day. And he said a few times, no one will ever work harder than me. Like, he's like, I will always work hard with massive sacrifice to show up every single day in the pursuit of his dreams through every challenge and obstacle. I've lost track of how many injuries he's had now in the last few years, but or defeats that he's had, like actual public defeats where he's lost, and literally a couple of days later just get back in the gym and get back to work. It's actually unbelievable. And that really, seeing that in the last few days has really personified that lesson for me, but also just backed up in terms of just keep going. And lastly, number 8 is be in service to others and to give back. Like, honestly, being a social entrepreneur, and even throughout my whole career, and it is a deep value of mine because I've learned it from my grandpa, my gran, my mum, aunts, uncles, like lots of family members, also other entrepreneurs and business owners, is this ability, or this sort of like heart-driven service. Like, I am here to be in service to others. I do believe that in order to have that sort of mindset, is you have to be in service to yourself first, like look after yourself. And a lot of these things that I spoke out before these lessons is about looking after yourself, because when you do that, you have this abundance to give other people. And it doesn't need, like, you don't like need to focus all on yourself for a period of your life and then just focus on giving back at the end. I see that quite a lot. Like, I'm just going to focus on me, and then right at the end of my career, I'm going to give back. No, like, you can do it as you're growing, as you're giving back to yourself, as you can give to others as you're giving to yourself. It's that balance, it's that continuous giving and receiving. But I would say just being in service is one of the most rewarding things ever. Like, to see, if I think about Arbonne, just to see someone transform their health just because I've introduced them to a 30 Days to Healthy Living program, and now they make better daily habits with their body and their mind. Like, to see that, to see the messages that I get back from people saying thank you so much is unbelievable. To hear from people in my Arbonne business that became consultants and have earned that extra income to make life choices that they wouldn't have before. Like, I love that. To see people celebrated, I love it. And if I hadn't had that conversation, then they wouldn't be standing there receiving that recognition. I love that. Like, to be able to start, to have the time and space to start another business, and for that, like, if I think about Definity, to be able to, help businesses become better by being B Corps. I love that. To see them transform as each question gets deeper into how they do their business and question why they do their business, and them to have a light bulb moment that actually something's got to change in my business, or I need to improve this. Or to, sit in a room, just the other week there, sat in a room in Paisley at St Mirren Football Club and listen to young people share their social enterprise ideas, and to be like a dragon in the Dragon's Den type event, and just to say how well they did, and to give them feedback, and to see their eyes light up when we gave them feedback. And it was just like, it's so rewarding to be in service to others. And I wish more people could get that and realize how powerful it is. And especially in an entrepreneurial environment, like, as you're building your business, or as you're doing entrepreneurial things, whatever you are, whatever stage you're at in this cycle, always remember it's about being in service to others. That's all it is ever about, helping other people. In turn, when you help other people, then you're going to help the planet, you're going to help communities. Like, it's just a big, big ripple effect. But when you focus on helping other people, it is just phenomenal. So there we have it. Thank you for listening. Speak to you soon. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I so appreciate your time. And as a thank you, and especially for this season, which is all about entrepreneurship, it's so important to look after yourself from a mind, a body, and a spirit point of view. So as a gift, you can download my Yoga Nidra practice from my website. And this is a guided meditation to really regenerate your mind, your body, and your soul. I hope you enjoy, and I'll speak to you soon.